Hey, I'm back from MakerFaire. Now I gotta set everything back up. But what a weekend. Man, I was busy. Check this out. What a weekend. Man, I am exhausted. I was busy all weekend long. I met a lot of my subscribers. I met a lot of viewers who aren't even subscribers, and they said now they're going to subscribe. It was just non-stop people asking 3D print questions. There were people who have never seen 3D printing before, which I couldn't believe. And then there were people who were really experienced at 3D printing, and they still watched my channel. So that was really cool. I got some great tips from some people. There was all kinds of different suggestions for different things. Some people are using Simplify 3D with the older firmware. I have the newer firmware 1.2.3 because I want that pause feature, and that limits my use of Simplify 3D, which I've got from a subscriber, but I'm now going to try and use that on my Repetier machine because I've reflashed one of my DaVincis to Repetier. So there's a whole bunch of discussions on that with people. It was just back and forth talking for 2 solid days. And for a while I thought I was going to lose my voice, but I hung in there. Overall, great experience. And for those that made it out and I got to meet you or you got to meet me, I loved it. It was great. There's nothing better. I talk to a camera. I don't know who's really listening and whether they're really enjoying it other than the comments that are left below. Well, apparently a lot of people liked it because the comments I got back in person were fantastic and just great people. I met some great people during this weekend. So feedback from the last video, I asked you guys if you want to see more complete projects, and it's pretty clear that a lot of people do. But there's also been some comments in there that said they'd like to see full projects, but also they'd like to see some just individual projects, like just a 3D print on Filament Friday. So kind of mix it up. And that works. That fits. Because my thought was to film little segments of it, maybe the 3D print part of it or the CNC part of it, and then later on electronics would be something, and then I could put them all together as one complete video so you could see the whole thing from start to finish. So the idea would be to occasionally show you guys those segments if they look good by themselves. But overall, my Patreon subscribers will get to see all the different segments, and then I can get feedback from them. Maybe they don't like a certain thing or need a better explanation about something. So that way, when I put it all together into the final thing and show everybody on YouTube, it's more polished, it's more finished. So it's an advantage for my super subscribers, my Patreon viewers and supporters. They get to see, up front some early stuff. But at the same time, they're helping make this whole channel better because they are just by donating. So I want to get their opinions and get them involved. So I think it'll work for what I'm trying to do here in my what I call my personal makerspace. And at some point, I'll show you guys a full tour of what this is. It's still being laid out and worked on, but that's coming. One other thing that I got a lot of feedback on when I talked about flashing my third machine to Repetier was people were happy that I finally kicked the bucket of the cartridge, the whole gotta use the cartridge bit. But I wanted to clarify something. I wanted to go maybe a little bit further of where my frustration comes from. You see, these cartridges have an EEPROM chip inside of it. That's a memory chip. And that's where it stores the temperature and all the settings when you put the cartridge in for the particular plastic you're going to use. Well, that can be reflashed. That can be written to at any time. That's how these resetters work. My comments to XYZ Printing, when I've talked to them live, it says, why don't you guys give us a reprogrammable cartridge? That way we can set our own temperatures. We can set our own settings. My idea would be to give me one of these with, you could have some protection on here, so you have to buy this cartridge. but it would be a cartridge that I could fill with my own plastic, and then I could put it in the machine and it would recognize that this is reprogrammable, and it'd come up on the screen, and I could set the temperature. I could set maybe the bed temperature plus the extruder temperature, maybe the feed rate, you know, just a handful of things that I could set and change for the particular plastic I'm using. And then hit save, and it would save it to the chip. And that way when I pull this out, put it on the shelf, it's programmed and saved the way I want it. Now, how does XYZ Printing make money on that? Selling the cartridges. It's the only machine that can accept the cartridge. It's the only machine that can read that cartridge, you know, read that special program in there. And that's real easy to do. It's the same effort as it took to try and block the resetters. So that's what I was hoping we would get. And they pretty much told me, no, we're not going to do that. So I said, well, you know, this is a dead-end path. They don't want to open it up in any way, shape, or form and give customers, give users what they've been asking for. I mean, some people reset just to save money, but there's many people that reset so they can do other plastics. There's people who use Simplify 3D with older firmware than I have on here so they can get the full features of Simplify 3D and control the temperature. I reflash to Repetier just like many others to get more control for other plastics, different temperatures, different settings. That's what we need to really be successful 3D printing. And that's all I was asking. So, I don't know. Hopefully someday they figure that out and give us something like that. They can still make money. Just think about all these filament companies who would want to sell to DaVinci users could buy the cartridges from XYZ Printing, put their own plastic in, do their own settings on their own DaVinci, and then sell it to DaVinci users. XYZ makes money by selling a cartridge. The filament company makes money by adding their filament. And users get a pre-programmed cartridge that has a lot of different plastics that are already set up for the DaVinci. That's all I was looking for. And when I got that cartridge error and it said I couldn't use it, that was it. I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'm not even going to wait for anything like that to come around. I'm going to do it myself. So that's why the cartridge just really just burned me. Now I've got the Repetier machine and I've been printing a lot of things on it. I'll show you that in another video. It's really printing well. And that's another request. People have asked me to show prints from here versus prints from the Repetier machine, which is over on a bench over there. I'll do that. Some quality is about the same, but some I just can't show you on here because I can't print that plastic on here. But I can on the Repetier machine. I hope to do more of these Tuesday tidbits. Follow up the videos and respond to some of your comments. So if you like this, give it a thumbs up. If you like my channel and you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe. That way I know you're watching. And if you want to support the channel, please consider donating at least $1 to my Patreon account. It goes a long way. That's all I got for now. Thanks for watching.